where do we start? At least the shock drop that everyone and their mom has waited forever for happened. I'm talking about the shock drop for the Air Jordan 3 Black Cement 2024. It officially happened when I'm filming this on November 14th, 2:23 p.m. Eastern. And there were a lot of people that secured W's, which is an amazing thing to see. Listen, if you were going after this and you hit on the shock drop, please go ahead and comment below. If you didn't, I'm wishing you the best of luck on the official drop date, which is November 23rd, which is, of course, like next Saturday, depending on when you're viewing this or when this is posted. But it'll officially drop 11/23 full family sizing. And if you're at all curious, hey, how would you style it? That video is already posted. So you can see 3 ways in which I would style my 2018 pair, because I am not going for the 2024 pair. So I am out of the way. If you're like a 6.5 or a 7 in men's, I am out of the way, not bothering a soul in terms of you trying to secure your pair. And then also I dropped links in that video for just other additional looks that would work with that, whether it was what I wore with the White Cement 3 Reimagined that dropped, or even the Lost and Found, the Reimagined Chicago one. I really feel like all looks that were present in those videos can work with the Black Cement 3. I mean, it is a predominantly black and white and gray shoe, so you have a ton of options, but I just love the energy that was going around. A lot of people were certainly excited to finally get this shock drop, because I was questioning, is the shock drop in the room with us? Because it felt like it was never, ever going to happen. And again, if it's just not a shoe you were interested in, then hey, I'm pretty sure you got your eyes set on other things. I mean, we know that the Air Jordan 11, the Columbia, is going to drop in. I'm at that point in life, and you can comment below if you're at the same place where I don't need another 11. Like, I don't need to purchase, I don't think, another Jordan 11 in life. And why? Because, like, there's a recurring theme, right? One, I've already posted in a previous video, which a lot of you said, you know what, it makes sense why you may feel the way you do about shoes right now. Again, work from home. So there are a lot of pairs that just simply get removed from your everyday, like, wearability. Like, it really does. A lot of pairs get removed. I've been vocal, and I know some people don't like it, that Jordan 11s are just actually not that comfortable, so like sole swaps are needed with them. You got to swap in some insoles for them to have more comfort, in comparison to other pairs that I may wear on a consistent basis. That once you start wearing New Balance or Vomeros, it's difficult. It's difficult when you decide to like swap back to some retros and you go, my God, it is really the aesthetic that is getting me through for this shoe all these years, because it's not the comfort. It's not the comfort. And for the prices that you're paying now for, especially a Jordan 11, now the higher price point, especially for men's, has been there for some time, right? You can keep going back, and that 220 hasn't budged. It's been there for a little bit, but with the way prices are continuing to climb, yeah, I don't see myself even wanting to pay that for what I'm getting, like, comfort-wise for an 11, but I'm wishing you the best if you're going for that. I also saw some people say, we need to pull back. There's far too much dropping at the end of 2024. And, like, we knew that was going to happen, though, so I'm not sure why people are flipping out now, but I think it's all really, truly coming to a head, and people are understanding that it's overwhelming, right? Now, the brands are trying to make their bread. They really are. They're trying to get everything out that they can to close out 2024. So it makes sense on the brand side, but then it also doesn't, because like, your consumers only have so much money, and the holidays are coming up, and the average price that people are spending on Christmas, like, sidebar, I'm really curious to see, like, where does that stack up maybe against like 2020, 2021, and leading up now to 2024. Like, are people going to spend more? Do they intend to spend less? I mean, again, very interactive video. Please go ahead and comment below as well. Based on like your previous spending on holidays, do you think you're going to spend more? Are you planning to spend more? Are you planning to spend less? And I certainly hope that you have like a plan in place, right? A plan of attack when it comes to holiday spending, because it can get so out of hand so fast. And the last thing you want to truly do is rack up a ton of credit card debt just for Christmas gifts for 2024, and then 2025 rolls around and you're like still paying on those gifts. You're still paying for those gifts, and it's going to come right back around, and it's time for you to plan again for Christmas 2025, right? That is the one thing. We know when Christmas is every single year. So I would say just be smart and just plan ahead. But do you intend to spend less? Do you intend to spend more? And have you looked at all of the releases dropping and said, you know what, a line has to be drawn, because I will not put myself in a strained financial position just to be able to buy everything that may capture my attention, but certainly should not, just drain my wallet ridiculously. So go ahead and comment below. If you are someone that attended Complex Con, hope you had an amazing time. It's never been something that I've attended, but I know activations are always like on the bucket list for people to be able to see, interact with. And one, if you are somebody creatively that may be a great networking opportunity for you. So by all means, if you went, I really, really hope that you had an amazing experience. Now, what I also wanted to talk about real quick, right? So there was a Fear of God Essentials release, but there's been quite a buzz going around in relation to Fear of God lately. Now, if you have followed along and if you've seen the post that like Jerry Lorenzo crossed over to Kappa Alpha Psi, so for those that may not be like a part of Divine Nine, and I'm not a part of any organization within Divine Nine, right? Sororities, and then you have fraternities. I am not a part of that. I do have family members that are on both sides, but he crossed over, so that was, really nice to see. You saw the, heartfelt message that he left and how impactful that was and meaningful that was to him. You actually saw him like design his very own apparel, really, for Kappas. Now, would he ever release that to the public? That I don't know, and that would be one that would be very tricky, because do you recall the drama that unfolded with the Brotherhood Air Jordan 1? I would not want to see that discourse ever again, and I think it would be a little more difficult because those were just the colors and you knew what the intended inspiration was for the Brotherhood 1, but this would be a whole different ball game. I think like you just wouldn't be able to put the letters on there. You wouldn't, because this is no offense to like some diehard Jerry boys and Jerry girls, but like rocking letters for an organization you are not actually a part of, you have not crossed for, that is a no-no in every way, shape, and form. That is a no-no. It is absolutely positively something you do not do. I don't know how many warnings you could give for that. You certainly wouldn't be able to like stop consumers, I don't know, from purchasing if that's what they wanted. So, but I did love the fact that he had his very own apparel. You can see all of his line brothers are also outfitted as well. So again, meaningful. Love that for him. But the Model 2, it's been revealed. Okay, they had an entire basketball event. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm still not a fan of these uniforms. I just don't understand, like, why are we doing this with the uniforms? I don't understand why, but whole thing with the teams. More importantly, looking at the basketball or Fear of God Athletics, the basketball 2, right? So technically the Model 2, and you do have 2 different models. Let's get this out of the way also. The high is a no for me. It just is. I love the fact that 2 are being offered, right? We love options. The high is just not it for me at all. I don't know, like it's just not. Like, the strap cheapens it. Does anyone else feel that way? That, like, when you look at this model with the strap, again, this is personally just for me, I think it cheapens the look of the shoe. The lows, I'm a fan of. I also burst out laughing when someone said they just look like boneless Yeezys. I don't think he's ever gonna be able to get away from anything Yeezy related ever. Like, now that he's with Adidas, and we don't know how long that continues, but I don't know that he's ever getting away from that. I just don't, and I hate that for him. I really do. But I don't think he's ever getting away from that. So there were tons of course, Kanye comparison comments that were in comment section for HTTF. So you guys I might throw some up on screen, but just read. So somebody else even said, it ain't bad. It's like some boneless Yeezys. Somebody said, now these I like, and it was confirmed, right, by the account, because they were there in person at the event to see these firsthand, that they're super lightweight too. So I love that they are lightweight. You do not want a heavy shoe. That's always been some of the criticisms with LeBron's, right, based on the structure of the shoe. It's heavy. You don't want a heavy shoe. Based on modern day tech, you're able to make these really lightweight shoes that still provide traction and stability. So I'm glad that it's lightweight. In terms of people commenting often that you would break an ankle in this, let's not hope that, right? We don't want athletes breaking ankles in these, because I imagine a number of teams are going to be outfitted in these. We do not want athletes getting injured. I hate watching injuries. Injuries are the worst part of sports. Absolute worst part of sports. So I would hope that we don't see like an influx of injuries. Now, I think he delivered far better with this on the actual athletic or the performance aesthetic that you would think would come from a basketball shoe. Better than the Model 1. The Model 1 still just looked way too lifestyle to me. My only concern, though, or I guess one of my concerns, is it just like just wrong timing? Because look at what Adidas is doing just in-house for basketball. Like, they're knocking it out of the park in-house. No collaborations, no additional designers, just their in-house designers. Just in-house. And there was a whole conversation had about, like, what's really affected sneakers in recent times, and collaborations were brought up, and they have certainly just been it feels watered down for a lot of them. Now, not to say you don't have some hits, because you do, but we are inundated with collaborations. And to see what Nike basketball is doing from a performance perspective, and also the fact that you are seeing some crossover with that AE1 low, even the AE1 high. You're seeing, or mid, I should say, but you're seeing some crossover with that for lifestyle. So it's not just like refined. It's not just restricted just to the court. You're seeing it other places, but they're doing amazing. Like the Dame 9, the olive colorway that came out. Big fan, big fan of what they're doing right there. I know I even had friends that attended a game, and they received some seated pairs as well. So I think this is just kind of bad timing for Jerry. Like, he has partnered with them, so there are these really high expectations, and there are these high expectations while in-house designs are performing so well, like so well. So will this determine what happens like past this? It feels like it feels like this will be kind of that whatever will tip the scale or not. I would love for it to be successful. In terms of colors, I actually prefer this more pink tone pair than I do the black pair. Not that the contrast is terrible, but I actually just do prefer the pink pair. Enough for me to buy it? No. Let me tell you why. Full disclosure, I'm pretty transparent with you guys. I actually have I'm not gonna say I regret buying this, but when I first bought it, and I did the whole breakdown and I gave my thoughts, I said, would I want to pay this price again? Because this was a $200 shoe, right? This was the 86 Athletics Low, so that is modeled after the base model of the Adidas, the Rivalry Low, which I have a rivalry. It is my friend's model, his collaboration, that dropped. So this was his, and a fun story. So when I went on an Adidas trip, earlier this year, I thought I was going to pack this, and I actually ended up packing this. So when we're talking about the weight of these two, this is heavier than the regular Rivalry. It is. When you talk about, like, it's certainly got, rubber there. Have you heard this? Yeah, it's it's pretty hard, so it's not as comfortable when you're walking or just standing in it. It will break in, but do you think I've actually broken it in? I haven't. Like, I thought these would be it in terms of me just like wearing them going insanely well with my style. I was wrong. So it's looking like these may not stay even in my collection. They may not. I may get rid of these. And you know what? Again, I now adopt the thought money was wasted when you first purchased the item. So I'm not sad or upset about it. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but yeah, still pristine condition. So that's just a testament. If shoes don't become something that I am over the top crazy for, reaching for all the time, even packing with me on trips, then that is a sign that it probably shouldn't have necessarily been added. It was my favorite of what was offered. I did like the California. This was my favorite out of what was offered, but because I think subconsciously I knew that it wasn't going to match up to some of the other Adidas pairs that I had, it kind of just sat there. So great craftsmanship, but at $200, absolutely, positively not again. So I'm not sure how I'll choose to get rid of that, but that likely will not end up staying in my collection. I mean, I just sold one of my last Essentials knits. I think I actually just sold that on Poshmark. So continuing to clear out things that I'm not necessarily wearing. Which brings me really fast to one more thing for Fear of God. So their fall collection for Essentials dropped. And it's giving I'm going to say 2020 and 2021. It's giving a mix of those for some of the items, not some of the new ones. I just want to go to the ones where it's giving a mix. It's kind of giving you more of that core collection vibe for like the black and white, and then the gray and white, or of course he normally just calls it heather. But it's giving a mix of 2021 and 2022. And I say that because you still have that smaller front chest branding, but you also then have the larger back print. And I thought he had moved away from that. I thought. Now, do I still own some of it? I do. Buying more of it new? No, because I already gave quite a bit of it away to nieces and nephews. But I just thought that was interesting, diving a little bit back into 2021, 2022. Not those prices, though. Not the prices. The prices are very much so giving 2024, very much so giving inflation with, $60 for long sleeve tees, $110 for sweatpants. I've already done a full video on where I stand with these new prices, and I feel like they are moving into pricing people out of essentials. Like, the essentials are not feeling essential with the price points. And then my last point, he's doing more with like the branding, but does it feel like it's taking away from the items? And I know the criticisms that it's like the same boring thing over and over and over again and minimal. And here's the thing, whatever changes a designer makes, if it's not for you, then don't buy it, which is also why you haven't seen me buy anything. I fully stand behind that. He needs to create what he wants to create. But with the university aesthetic that is now here, and it's like put more branding on the actual product, I don't want to say cheapens it because that feels mean. And that's not my intention. But cheapens it is kind of like the word that's like creeping up for me. And I don't know if it's because when I associate university apparel, like, mind you, if you've gone to college, you had something from your college that had the crest and the school name, and it did not cost this. So I think subconsciously my mind is just like, yeah, I've had that before and I didn't have to pay those prices for it. But again, you do have collegiate branding there, like Fear of God University, which, like, have you seen college students? Because a lot of them are broke. They would not be affording this, not without some credit card debt. Based on, like, even thinking back to my college days, would absolutely positively not have been in the budget. And then you are looking at the higher price points, right, for those items, $80 for a heavy crew neck t-shirt in this economy. Well, someone's bills are being paid, and I don't know, if you're going for these things at full price, it may not be yours. You can wait for a sale, because sales are happening, and a lot of you have said, somebody even pointed out, like, if they went on Essence, there was so many different things that were on sale, and you know what? Yeah, there were tons of things on sale. So, all right, that is all I got. Listen, again, if you hit on the shock drop for the Black Cement 3, I love that for you. I hope it is everything you wanted it to be and more. If not, good luck on November 23rd. Again, please be sure to check out my recent video on how I choose to style that pair. Thank you for sticking around. And as always, more than ever, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.